Hello and welcome to the Spinnin Backfist MMA show, the best featherweights in the world edition. We have an interview today with UFC Featherweight Champ Alexander Volkanovski, and then later in the show we're going to throw it over to two interviews on the Bellator side. Our first Bellator interviews, actually, our first interviews outside of the UFC with Mckee and Aaron Pico. So we're going to kick off the podcast with Volkanovski. I'll throw over to that right now. All right, welcome back to the Spinnin Backfist MMA show. We are here with the champ and possibly the pound-for-pound king. You moved to number 2 in the rankings today, but we were saying on the podcast this week, it's hard to deny you being the pound-for-pound king at this point. Alexander Volkanovski, how you doing?
Yeah, very good, man, very good. Yeah, man, look, that's not up to me to really say that, but obviously, we're doing work and, we definitely right up there. You know, obviously, even number 2 is pretty incredible, but being undefeated in middleweight, undefeated lightweight, I fought in welterweight. Look at the resume, so you can see why I'm right up there. But that's definitely conversations I am seeing people have. Whether I am number 1, 2, but it's not for me to decide. But I appreciate what you're saying, though.
Yeah,
I feel like not enough people bring that up, that you're undefeated in the UFC. Like, I feel like they talk about that with so many guys. Like, you kind of been, because I feel like there was a part where you were like severely unlooked, and then I think a lot of people coming into this fight were trying to say that you almost were like getting too much hyped, and then you clearly disprove that. I mean, that was a masterclass.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, everything went to plan. Yeah, man, I wanted to show that I'm levels ahead, levels above. I said it all week that I'm just leveling up. I'm raising the bar every time I step in there, and I think that performance, did show why I was a massive favourite. I don't think that was really a shot at Zombie. It was just where I'm at, and people are really understanding that I'm obviously a safe bet, but I've got the tools and I'm just getting better and better.
Do you look at the odds before a fight, or do you just hear them during interviews? Yeah,
you just hear it really. Like, I don't really care too much about it. Like, I won't sit there and be like, I don't think it adds pressure or anything like that. But at the same time, it's obviously, those are obviously big odds. So, you know what I mean? Like, it was a deal. So, but I mean, in saying that, I guess I showed why I was such a favorite.
Of course.
Would you, if you thought the price was too low on yourself, would you ever bet on yourself? You a betting man at all?
I don't even know if we can, man. I don't know that.
I
think you're allowed to on yourself, I believe.
Yeah, just to win, eh? I'm
just
pretty
to win,
sure. I'm pretty sure you can too, but then I've had conversations with other people that are like, no, you can't. I don't think
like
you can.
say maybe a fight you came out, you were an underdog for some reason. You throw some coin down yourself, maybe?
Well, if I can, I always would. Yeah, always pretty confident. I know I did my work, right?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Yeah,
I know when I'm good, and you know what I mean. So I know I busted my ass and got prepared. So yeah, I'm willing to better myself if I can. But I mean, I guess I got to look into that. I got to be careful what I say with that, eh? Might bite me in the ass.
Yeah. Where does this win rank in terms of like satisfying wins in your career? Obviously, a masterclass like that, it's not a war that you had to fight for necessarily and went back and forth. It was one-sided domination. Is that like up there because you're like, I barely got hit?
Man. When you talk about your legacy, you're going out and doing things like that to legends of the sport. Like, you know what I mean? It just shows you that you are right up there, the top of the echelon. You know what I mean? And so it was, it was good. It was a great performance. But again, man, I learned so much. I learned from my wins as well. You know what I mean? There's still things that, I'm my hardest critic. So I'm still looking at that guy. Could have done this, could have done that. So, it wasn't the perfect performance, but it definitely was up there with one of my best performances.
Is it strange fighting someone and kicking their ass to the level where people are actually like getting concerned? Like I saw people were posting a quote from you.
You
before it was the fourth round. You were like, "Are you okay?" Making sure he's okay. Is that strange?
It was a little weird, but I mean, because I could see in his eyes and in his face and some of the things he was doing that he was defeated, and he was almost looking for a way out. You know what I mean? Because the fighters are never going to say, I'm done, put the towel in, throw the towel in for me. But, I mean, I could tell that if someone asked you, go, yeah, I'm all right. But, I mean, like, he was, like, hoping. Like, I felt like he was doing some things and trying to get the ref to see. And that's what I thought. And I felt the exact same way with Ortega. I thought he was doing some things. Like, again, if you want to really be in it, don't give them anything that they could maybe pull you out. You know what I mean? You are like, I'm good. And, like, you don't want to, you put on a poker face. But, I felt like that's what I'm doing to these guys. These guys are mentally and physically just done and want out of there. You know what I mean? These are absolute warriors that are asking for them to pull me out of this. I'm done. You know what I mean? That just shows you what I'm doing to these guys. And, again, I don't mean that in any disrespect, but it just shows you where I'm at. You know what I mean?
Talk that shit, champ.
Yeah, that's it. Learn that shit.
Do you think this is the best you've ever felt?
It is. I said that. Yeah, I said that going into this one that it's the best, the sharpest I've been. I'm always fit and strong and all that. But I mean, right now I was on. I was on.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? In the training room and sparring and all that, and people even watching on the outside. The coaches. We had obviously I'm at Freestyle Fighting, but we had some of the guys at City Kickboxing come over for a couple of weeks, and they haven't seen me for trained for a while, and even they're like, man, this is the best I've ever seen it. You know what I mean? So there's massive improvements.
The speed was on a different level.
You look so.
Training partners, everyone's seeing.
Early, you just come on that left. It looked like he was getting hit with it. He didn't even know where it was coming from. Yeah. Just super early on.
Well,
did you know that going you knew I'm going to be way faster than this guy?
I knew that probably the first jab he threw.
Wow.
He threw a jab, we'll move, and then he tried to catch me and thought he was going to time, and I just seen him miles away. And I think I even smiled at him. I didn't mean to disrupt. I'm like, man, is that like that the pace we're going? You know what I mean? And I didn't mean, again, that was me just talking to myself all right. This is
you take a sigh of relief, all right, this is an easy day at the office.
All right, maybe we'll see. If this is how it's going to be, you're in for a long night. But yeah, so pretty much that's where I started to realize that I'm much faster, and I'm just going to have him puzzled as well. On top of that, and I think I'm going to be putting a beating on this bloke. You know what I mean? That's what I felt, and that's exactly what I did.
Yeah, absolutely. And you called out the 145ers afterwards, and it was a great call out. Yep. You were pretty fired up in that call out.
Yeah.
Was that towards anyone in particular or everyone?
All of them, because you hear me talk about the whole time, because I'm a champion that I don't want to hold up any divisions, right? And I've said that, I've been vocal about that every single time. That's why I'm not going to talk about double champ and all that, but I'm doing my part. Mm-hmm. I'm fighting these guys, and I'm waiting for someone to take the number one spot. So why am I being more active than half of these contenders? Go out, take that number one spot. If not, if you ain't going to do your part, because I've done mine, I will go out. I'm not holding the division up. You guys are.
Yeah.
If there was a number one contender, I won't go up. But right now, you aren't showing that. I want to move up because I ain't going to sit around waiting.
So you're set on that, going to 155? I want to go
up to 155 and fight for that belt while this division sorts themselves out. You know what I mean?
Wow.
Again, there's so many close. Obviously, it's a stacked division. There's so many guys that are just there.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Just there. One big fight, and then they're the man.
Yeah.
They're the one that all you guys are going to be talking about. You're going to be going, yep, this is the fight, has to happen. Go out and fucking take it. You know what I mean? It's that simple. That's exactly what I was doing when I was chasing that title, when I was making sure there was no one else that can take that from me. I'm the number one guy. I'll take out Aldo in his hometown. I'll be there for the backup, weigh in, do all that. Worst weight cut of my life. The worst trip I ever did. But anyway, I was there making sure no one else took that opportunity away from me. That's the shit I'm doing. That's the mentality I have. I don't see that from my contenders, and that's why I'm going to be champ for a long time.
Yeah, we were talking about it. We were saying, what's next for 145? Yeah. We don't know because there isn't a clear contender right now. Mm-hmm. There's the Holloway fight that was supposed to be made, but, it's still murky. It's murky water right now. Yep. So it makes sense that you want to move up to 155.
That's it. And let's be real. If there was that number one, got someone that was trying to take that number one spot, Max probably wouldn't be. He obviously was going to get that trilogy. But you go and take that. He might have to wait in line a little bit to get that trilogy, to get that third fight. You know what I mean? Because that fight's always going to be there. But no one else is doing their part. So right now we're in a position where, all right, let's weigh our options and let's see what's the smartest fight and what people want to see. And what works out time-wise and everything like that, and we'll make the right decision for the right reasons.
Is there a guy at 155 that you want to fight?
So
obviously the champ, but
Oliveira and Gaethje are fighting. So either one of them, I think, is a fun fight. And I think all the.
And there's always Conor there, of course.
Of course, yeah, that's another one.
That would be. I think any MMA, UFC sports fan would just be like, sign me up for
man.
that.
Any fighter's going to say that too, right?
Yeah, of course.
You guys would love to see it. Everyone wants to see Conor in there, and obviously you talk the money and all that type of stuff. And then on top of all that, which not many of these other guys that would call out Conor or that are having these conversations can say, he is the only other champion in my division that I haven't fought yet. I've beat every other division.
Wow.
So it makes a lot of sense.
Wow.
It's something that I
never
want
thought about
purely
that.
because, money, the circus around it, hype, all that shit. But then you got, hey, I want all the legends of my division. I've taken out most of them, and he's one of them. He's held that belt. I want to take out all the guys that have held this belt, you know what I mean? And leave no one else in this division but me. But, if you want that GOAT status, that's what I want. I want to take out all these guys. So it makes a lot of sense.
Would you say at this point you think it's more likely in your next fight you defend the 145 or that you go up?
It depends, man. I think the time works well for going up. So lightweight is right now what we're talking. A lot of people are talking to us about. So we'll just keep pushing that and see what happens.
Who do you think out of that's challenge? Obviously, it's coming up May 7th. It's Oliveira, Gaethje. What do you think? What matchup do you think would be better for you?
Better matchup? I think they both would be pretty similar matchups. Who do I think's going to win that one? I don't know. Like that's a tough fight. I really do feel like it's 50-50. I had to lean to someone. I think Oliveira has more ways of maybe winning, but stylistically, I think I do them both anyway. You know what I mean? And that's no disrespect to them. But again, I just feel like I'll have the right game plan for any of them. You know what I mean? My style, as I've been saying all week, covers a lot of ground. And then we've got the strategy and all that type of game planning, all that. And I'm physically strong. So that's something that I don't need to worry about. A lot of people have to worry about that moving up as a power.
Yeah.
So I'm the strongest featherweight you ever feel. And I'm
we
very
saw it
strong.
when Max moved up. It didn't really work out for him because of that power.
Exactly.
I feel like.
But I used to be a middleweight. You know
Yeah,
what I mean?
So we've all seen the rugby photo.
Yeah. So I'm used to the big boys. Most of my training partners are lightweights and welterweights and things like that. So the strength and power isn't an issue for me.
Yeah.
I'm used to that. That's where I do most of my work. So I don't think that's a problem. Then it's just everything else that we get ready for that fight. So that's something that I feel like I have an advantage when you look at double champ status compared to a lot of guys that have done it.
Yeah. When we talk about rugby and you making the transition to rugby, at what point did you know, like, I could be a champion? Like, this is something I'm picking up very quickly.
Man, I was thinking that before I even started training.
Wow. Really?
You know what I mean?
I guess that's the mindset you need.
Well, yeah, but maybe it was just like, obviously, you probably get a lot of guys that just had a couple of blues on the street and think that I could be UFC champion.
Couple of blues. I love that term. Man, I'm going to steal that. Yeah.
But,
I don't get into any blues.
But it's just, man, it was just, I think, I had 4 fights that year, I think, in my first year of football. I had like 3 or 4 fights and won them pretty easily. So, I had the 4 fights amateur, and they all didn't even add up to 1 round. So I went pro without even a round experience. So I knew pretty quickly that, all right, pretty good at this fucking thing.
Do you look at do you look at American football at all and have the same thought of like, oh, I could play with these guys?
Well, man, yeah, man, I can see myself being pretty good at most things. I've got that drive. So obviously, I've got the mentality to be successful in a lot of different things. But yeah, I reckon I could. You could find the right position for me.
It seems like a rover.
Yeah,
like a roaming safety.
Yeah, he would hit hard.
That's what I'm saying. Like, but not like a center field safety. Like more like all over the place.
Like a hover.
You might be rushing the passer one time. You might be playing back or kind of just all over the place. We call it a monster back.
Okay, yeah.
There's a little bit of everything.
You're like that'll be my position.
Like a defensive weapon, kind of.
Would you want to be more defense or offense? You think?
Man,
we could get him in the slot.
Both.
There you go. Yeah, a little slot receiver.
He wants to play both. He's not taking off.
Iron Man football.
Oh, yeah, that's awesome.
As I always say, I adapt to anything, so I could probably play multiple positions. So, yeah, man, throw me around. What was that position you said?
We call it like a monster back.
Yeah, safety.
Sounds pretty
it's like a safety, but you kind of like you play a little backer with it. Like you're kind of guy in defense that puts you all over the place.
Is there a guy in offense that does that too?
You could be like you could
That'd
be
be more
wide
like
receiver
like
/ running back. That would be
running back. I'm
like
thinking
an offensive
that's more
weapon.
Runner,
yeah, but then wide receiver would be more you're catching the ball, you're in the slot. Maybe you're running all over the
big jump and catching things. Probably not my gig. I reckon running back, give me the ball and run through it because I used to run pretty hard and I used to make the
like a Debo Samuel.
Even though I was 214 pounds. 214 pounds. I had decent footwork for a fella that could, So I reckon running back could be my gig, but. Let's just stick to fighting. Fighting's fun. That's my real.
You're pretty good at it, yeah.
Yeah. I'm all right,
Do you watch a lot as a fan? Are you just more like MMA? Just like UFC? Like, are you watching every card?
Yeah, 100%.
Okay.
I watch most cards. I love it. Yeah. So even watching my division, you know what I mean. I'm still a fan of the sport. So even guys that are potential matchups, I'm watching as a fan and as a guy that like these guys might be. They're coming up. So I'm watching them and studying them at the same time, but I'm still a fan. Man, I love it. I love the sport, and you learn so much. Not only from people think you only learn from your losses. That's a lot of the times you have that conversation, but I learn a lot just from watching people fight, watching my own fights, my wins. You know what I mean? Anything. So even training sessions, I learn a lot. I learn a lot from sparring sessions, and so I get as much knowledge as I can from everything. So I love watching the fight and studying the game, and real appreciation for the sport.
Who are my bad?
No,
who are like some of your like favorite guys to watch? Is this like a fan of the sport?
Izzy's obviously one. You know what I mean? Like I love his work, and not many people can move and have some of the things that he does is pretty incredible. So he's always great to watch. Demetrius Johnson used to love him.
Love it.
You know what I mean?
It's a big win.
Yeah. So it's just a couple of them guys. I'll give them the shout outs.
DJ just did that weird mixed rules fight. He won that.
Yeah,
Did you see that?
Yeah,
It was Muay Thai first round, and then second round he submitted him in the second round. He had to jump on him quick.
Yeah, once you unload it to or you basically expand it to MMA, you're in trouble. I think.
So
with
play
DJ.
safe first round. I was like, all right, we've got the grappling involved now. Let's take it out.
What did you make of Henry Cejudo coming out of the woodwork yet again? Calling out you, calling out everyone.
Yet again, you know what I mean? Like how many times that happen? Every time there's a pay-per-view, he's calling someone out. If there's no featherweights, flyweights, or bantamweights, he's calling out a fucking heavyweight. Yeah. So he's just, you know what I mean? He's just doing whatever he can to just stay in the conversation. But it's working. Obviously, people are still talking to me about it, but I ain't taking it serious, man. Like, again, he's shown commitment by getting in the testing pool, which is a little bit, but again, that's not showing a commitment to my division. You know what I mean? Like, just because you're in the testing pool, that doesn't mean you deserve a title shot. You know what I mean? A division you've never been and been retired for how long? You know what I mean? So it's just a useless conversation for us to have with the UFC just yet. So I think he needs to go out there. If he goes and fights and gets the belt at bantamweight, and I think he's got a bit more pull, right?
Yeah.
Or fight someone in the featherweight rankings, take that number one spot. I don't think he needs much fight. So I think one fight and he gets that shot, just to show you're committed. You're there to, for real. You're there to stay. And then we'll take you serious. UFC will take you serious. We'll take you serious, and we can maybe make that happen. But till then, just keep chirping.
I'm glad we were on the same page about that on Monday. We were like, if he moves to featherweight, there's no way you give him a title shot right away. You got to beat someone in the top 5.
100%. Maybe flyweight and bantamweight, he might be able to walk straight in because he's a champ, was a champ before he left. So that makes a bit of sense, but not featherweight. There's no way.
Do you think he could hang in the top 5 at featherweight?
At featherweight?
Yeah, at featherweight.
I don't know. I think he knows how to fight. You know what I mean? And he does. I like that he at least works strategy and all that. He thinks he's got the whole game figured out.
Yeah.
It's funny how
the fight, he thought he cracked the code.
Zombie shit at the start, when he was trying to get his title shot. The next minute he's cornering me hey, he's gonna beat your ass and all that. I was like, you're just gonna embarrass yourself. But anyway, but yeah, man. He may be. There's probably some fights there that he could win, but yeah, I don't know. Obviously, the size is gonna be a big problem for him.
Sure.
You know what I mean? So he'll try and work. The size you could see was a big problem for him even in bantamweight. With people like Shane Moraes. That's right. I said that right. Yeah. So that was a big problem. You've seen the power early. That was
Marlon Moraes.
Marlon Moraes.
They had him hurt early for sure. Yeah.
You know what I mean? It was that power was a big issue for him. But obviously, it was tough and he stuck through it and then tired him out and then got him. But yeah, it's just different. And this is the thing, right? So I haven't called for the title shot in the lightweight till I thought I deserved it. You haven't seen me as soon as I got the belt. I want double champ status, which a lot of people are doing. I waited to what? I've had 4 title fights, 3 defenses. Now you hear me talk about it because I believe I'm in a position where I can. You know what I mean? That's just the type of guy I am. So you see what I mean? That's what that's what I'm doing, and then Henry's thinking he could just walk straight into. Look what I'm thinking I'm doing before I can even think of asking for that. You know what I mean? And so you see where I'm at. That's why you need to do work in my division. You need to show me a real commitment. You need to do some work before I take you serious and think you're worthy of challenging me for that belt.
So is it annoying to even say in other divisions, just in the UFC in general, when you see a guy get fast tracked, say a Hamzat? Obviously he showed he won the fight, he earned that he deserved to be there. But does that bother you that he just basically fought a number 11 guy and then bang right up to 2?
Man, it doesn't bother me. That's just a game. That's just how it is. You know what I mean? It is a bit of a different sport. I'm used to a team sport, which is totally different. Where now it's before I went into obviously MMA, but now. You've got to hype yourself up and all the, I mean, it's such a different game, and it's a lot comes into it. You know what I mean? I never used to get that at the start. I'm starting to finally figure that out and understand it. You know what I mean? It is entertainment business, so I get it. So I don't hate on it. You know what I mean? Obviously, you see some things that are fair sometimes and some things that aren't. But I mean, if there's a lot of hype around some people, I think you just got to be careful with it. You throw all your chips in one basket, throw them in the deep end, they lose, and then next minute, see you later. It's oh man, share that, that basket that we were talking about. You know what I mean? Share that around. You might be able to make more money that way, rather than, this guy's knocking everyone out. Yeah, as soon as he fights a decent fighter, he gets his head punched in, he gets bashed.
Yeah, how many hype trains
Yeah,
have we
exactly
seen?
right. You see that a lot. So I think, but they're just trying to look for that. They see, obviously the blueprint that they're sort of used to and want to keep pushing. Sometimes it bites them in the ass. But I mean, at the same time, Chimaev, he is still the real deal. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So they're pushing him, but you can tell that he's a gamer. Like, he's busting his ass, and he ain't scared of nobody. He ain't picking and choosing and all that type of stuff. So I can see why that's happening anyway. And
he hasn't called for the belt. He just says, I just want to
fight everybody.
Anybody.
Anyone, yeah. So you got to respect him for that.
Yeah. What do you think
that
about?
That was obviously a big test, and you've seen it. So so that might have maybe pulled him back a little bit and be like, all right, we'll see. Maybe we'll have one more before we go up, or we'll see what he says.
Yeah. Speaking of hype trains, what do you think about our guy Paddy the Batty Pimlet?
Yeah, man, he's good. Obviously, there's a lot of hype around him. I think he's doing it clever. As I said before, we were talking about him, and I think he's been clever with it. We just talked about when they push him and fast track him to the title. He's not ready for that, and he knows that. Mm-hmm. And he's talking about, I'm gonna work my way up, obviously get paid, all that type of stuff, and then I'll fight for I'll fight ranked opponents when I'm ready. And I think that's clever. He knows that. All right, maybe I'm not ready just yet. I'm still new to this game.
Yeah.
Let me feel it out a bit.
Initially turned down his UFC contract because he felt like he wasn't ready.
Yeah. Well, there you go. See, you know what I mean? It's clever. It's smart. So good on him.
Yeah, absolutely. When it comes to after the fight, what do you look forward to the most? Like, is there some kind of food or indulging in something? Obviously, Paddy gets balloons up after his fights.
You see the photos.
Crazy.
What? I can't talk because that used to be exactly how I was. I don't get that big anymore. I used to blow it up a lot.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I'm talking, I would get to middleweight within a week.
Oh my God.
Yes, yeah. So that's
Put on
he looks
40
like
pounds?
That's the same as Paddy. Paddy was 200 pounds a week after the fight.
Yeah.
So 145, it's 185 to get 86 kilograms. Would be about 185 or just over.
Yeah.
So I would get 145. The next day I'll be like close to 170, like when I fight. Say like 168 or something, 170. And then so that was the next day. That weekend after, I'll be at 185, 186, 187.
Wow.
And I used to do that, and I'll like out, but it was just water. Honestly, I'd blow it up that much that it would ripple. Like I would tap. It was that much water.
It was like
rippling.
rippling.
It was water.
There was
literally.
waves. Yeah.
It was crazy.
What are you at right now, you think?
Right now, I've been behaving. I've been pretty impressed with how I was. I didn't eat much straight after the fight. We didn't get out of the arena till like 3:30 in the morning.
It was that fight
it was
forever,
so
especially in
late.
Jacksonville too. It's not even Vegas time.
I was falling asleep almost walking out, but walking out to the fight even. Like,
Oh my
how late
God.
it was. But yeah, it was. I don't know. I'm pretty good, man. I reckon I'd be around 160 or something, 164.
Oh,
maybe.
okay.
I don't know. I
Yeah,
don't
not
think
bad.
I'm that bad. Yeah,
Get any New York pizza around here?
We did. We got in
Okay.
the.
So
Yeah,
that hat made me happy.
Yeah,
They gave me
that's
Spanish.
we've done
nice,
New York
yeah.
pizza. We've done New York bagels. Like so, we've
Yep.
done.
Where'd you go? Do you remember?
Went to Joe's.
Okay,
Pizza.
great.
Yeah,
All right,
great
yeah.
spot, good spot,
You
yeah.
got to do it. And went to the Best Bagels. I think it was. Is that what it's
Okay,
called?
yeah. There's usually like.
It's hard to find a bad
Bad-
bagel, I
yeah.
think. It's
It's much
easier to
easier-
find bad pizza.
Yeah.
You
Yeah,
can
for sure.
find bad pizza
Oh,
here.
you can find it.
It's like a
Oh, yeah.
myth that all the pizza here is good. Like
Yeah.
a lot of the pizza here is good, and if you
I've
find
seen like
it,
99-cent pizzas here.
That's
No,
that's
yeah.
something
I was
Avoid
going to
that.
say, I don't know.
avoid the 99-cent spots, the little hole-in-the-wall spots.
Okay.
Yeah. Is there something though when you go back home, you're like, oh my God, I'm craving that. I need to get that.
You know what
or
I'm
no?
craving even now? Like out of all the shit I can eat, I crave Vietnamese like pho. Pho.
Oh,
pho
yeah.
soup.
Oh.
I love pho. So that's something that me and my coach are like. We travel the world eating Vietnamese soup. Like, so we love it. So that's something that I'm even craving now. But
I wouldn't be
but
surprised. if
yeah,
you
I
could
don't know.
find
I
that
don't know.
here.
They're probably
Oh,
like,
yeah.
we're gonna go to New York to have pho. What are you talking about? You know? So maybe we'll give it a miss.
We had Ian Gary on before the fight, and he told us that during the lockdown, he's so into Thai food that
Okay,
he
yeah.
just got hired as a delivery driver for his favorite Thai food place, so the food would be free. Kind of a genius move there.
Oh, yeah,
Maybe you
yeah,
could do
yeah,
that
sure,
when you
yeah,
go back
yeah.
home, Vietnamese.
Vietnamese, yeah. Maybe I'll love
And the champ pulling up with your food.
Exactly. I mean, that'd be a good video too. Like maybe
That would.
people pull up and people would, whoa, whoa.
So what? You look like.
Yeah.
That's it.
And they're like, "This is cold," and you're like, "No, it's not cold." Tell me again one more time that it's cold.
I was like, where's my tip? I want a big tip.
Yeah.
Have you been getting recognized way more often?
Yeah. Obviously, each fight you get more and more, especially in America. You know what I mean? Obviously, back home it's going to be different, but I mean in America, you're definitely seeing a big change. But again, I don't really care too much about it. Like it's something I probably did care about too much before, but now I don't really care. But it's very noticeable now.
Interesting.
Which is good. I appreciate it.
So it's
Appreciate the love.
So it's crazy back home.
Back home it's always going to be, you know what I mean? But
Isn't celebrity culture like a little different though? They say like America's a little more crazy about it.
Yeah, 100. There's a tall poppy type of thing where I don't know. Like I feel like in America they get praised more, and then they owning the crown here, right? Like people love it. Like, you know what I mean? Like, Americans love that shit. They love seeing, like, yeah, he's the man, he's the best, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I don't know, we can't really do that back home. I feel like you go, oh, this guy's full of himself, this guy there. And they want to pull you back down. It's like, who do you think you are?
Keep you humble.
Which I do that to myself, I used to do that to myself. I was like, nah, now, you know what? I am the champ. I ain't the type to just gloat and, I ain't full of myself anyway. But, I mean, I can be proud of, owning that belt and wear that crown proudly. So that's something that, I'm never going to be too far over the other side anyway.
I think in America, that's what it's like. America loves when you become champ, they love you. And then when you get cocky, when you know you're the champ, then they want to break you down. That's that's America.
They love you on the rise.
They love you on the rise, and then once you got it, like you're at the top,
that's Australia
then they want to knock you back. They want to say, pump the brakes on you.
They love a guy on the rise.
Yeah.
Okay.
And they love a meltdown. They even love, turning on people like Aljo. Aljo was kind of beloved until the knee, and then people turned on him, and now he's one of the most hated.
I mean, like you really appreciate, like they go, they were like, get all the get ups and really, go all out. People are like, yeah, how good, you know what I mean? And like the fashion and going all out, wearing whatever they want, and I feel like that's sort of admired a lot more here rather than back home. It's like, look at this guy, you know what I mean? I think. You reckon it's like that? Yeah, it could be.
So they like the humble champ.
Yeah, I think so.
Okay,
yeah, definitely, I believe.
That makes sense. I guess Izzy's like pushing the line with that.
Yeah. Is that why you had to leave?
It is like that, but I mean, it is a tricky one, you know what I mean? But again, like it's own that crown. Like you have every right. If you're the champ, you have every right to, like you're the king, right? You own that crown, be the king. Act like the king. It's fine. Like you deserve that. It's not like we're doing that before we got that. Well, we're world champions, so there's nothing wrong with owning that. 100%. But so that's but again, like I'm never going to be too far over that side, but.
I'd love to see it, the Triple C version of Alexander Volkanovski.
Triple C.
And what?
Anything else from you guys?
No, it's been great, man.
Yeah, thanks for coming in. We really appreciate it.
Awesome.
Having the champ in, the featherweight champ, and maybe possibly the lightweight champ in the future. You could end this year as double champ.
Imagine, you might see that cocky side of me when I say,
double
shoulder,
champ.
like
on
each shoulder. Like
it's even that just gonna flip some switch in your brain.
It might change. We'll see.
Come out the sunglasses, the Gucci. Yeah, you're gonna be all of it.
I don't know.
All right, that was Alexander Volkanovski. Thank you. All right, really appreciate Alexander Volkanovski for coming into Barstool HQ. He did our show. He did Marty, Jerry, Terry. He even did Lowering the Bar and ate a gross-ass egg. Team player.
He's the fucking man. I loved him.
Yeah, no, such a nice guy.
Came in with the Yankees hat. He
went to the game, too. Did you see the pictures?
Yeah, he did. They fouled him. He had the Yankees jersey on. Yeah. They gave him the navy blue hat. Yep. He's the man.
He's the man. Just made me like him more.
He's salt of the earth.
Yeah.
He's the humble champ. I would coin him as.
Absolutely, especially when it's like him and Izzy from Down Under.
Yeah.
It's like Izzy's the out there champ. He's the humble champ. Let's talk about this weekend's UFC card, and then afterwards, after we build the parlay, the get back on our horse parlay, we'll throw over to the Bellator interviews. Obviously, the main event, Vicente Luque versus Belal Muhammad, a rematch. This is the biggest fight on the card by a country mile. It's the one that I think most people are most interested in. There's a lot of names on this card that if you're not a hardcore fan, you're not going to recognize. What do we think about this main event?
I think I've talked about it a little bit on the show, and if you just heard me talk about UFC, MMA, Luque is one of my favorite fighters, just like in general, period. Love Luque. But I like him in this matchup. Obviously, Bilal's looked really good. Like his last few outings, like he just held Wonderboy down for 3 rounds, like really dominated, very impressive. But I mean, Luque is such a stud, and I just think he has so many different ways to win this fight. The biggest glaring difference is, the power is just, I think, night and day between the two of them. Obviously, we saw the way the first fight went. Luque knocked him out. I want to say it was like pretty quickly as well.
Might have been.
I might have to double check that.
I interviewed him before that fight on UFC Undisputed with Matt Serra.
I want to say he knocked him out in the first round. I could be wrong on that. I know for a fact he knocked him out. I really like Luque in this spot. I think he's minus 190. He's plus 115 by finish that I really like too, because he obviously does have a great ground game, a lot of submissions. He submitted Chiesa. That was even though it was like short fight, what a comeback in that Chiesa fight.
Yeah.
Chiesa had him in a weird spot. He got out of it, then ends up putting him in a darce. Luque's just a dog. Like, he's just a guy who finds ways to win fights. I like Luque a lot.
I love him in this fight, too. I got into it with Belal over the weekend. I had a tweet about how I don't like doing the prelims to the main card, to the early prelims on ESPN+. And he said, it's literally 3 clicks. And I said, you're literally 3 clicks, Belal.
Yeah.
Betting on Luque.
Roasted.
Boom, roasted. I do like Belal.
I like Belal, too.
Yeah. I will say, that last fight that he had against Wonderboy, I was really heavy on Wonderboy. I really thought he was going to just piece him up. And Belal just went out there, and it was, you mentioned it, Ev, just really impressive.
It was domination. Yeah. I mean,
I didn't
3
expect
rounds.
that either.
And
3 rounds.
I think Belal's really been a guy that we've seen elevate his game since he came into the UFC, and I'm impressed by him. I love Luque too. I don't hate Luque as a parlay piece. I think, honestly, he may be... It's just... I don't know. I could see... But the thing is with Wonderboy did have good takedown defense, but like once he got on the ground, he was screwed. That's not the case with Luque.
I think Luque's he's a little bit bigger. He's a little stronger.
Yeah.
He does have better ground game. Like you said, like Wonderboy has shown good takedown defense in the past. It's tough because I think the last couple of fights, like we watched his last 2, like Belal and Burns kind of did the same thing. They're able to take him down and hold him down. I think age might be catching up to Wonderboy a little bit.
I think so too.
He's
slowing down a little bit.
I just think Belal's not gonna be able to just take and hold down Luque the same way he did.
I don't. I mean, I would be stunned if he did.
I mean, because Luque, he just, like I said, he's just a guy that he has so many different routes to victory. He's a complete fighter. It's just hard to me to see Belal winning the fight. Kind of like, I know the line's not like minus 190 in MMA, not like a crazy massive favorite. Obviously, much bigger favorites on the card. I don't know. Like, it's just hard for me. Like, I just think every way that Belal is going to try to, like, win this. Like, I think his routes to victory, I feel like Luque is going to be able to defend them pretty well.
Yeah. This is weird structuring of a card, too, I feel like, because in the co-main event, we have 2 people making their UFC debut against each other,
guys.
Which is, like, crazy that they got elevated to that spot already. Do you have any read on that? I know you're a big Contender Series watcher.
I've watched all the fights. Barallo actually had a weird situation where he fought twice on the same season, on this last season of Contender Series.
Really?
He fought 185, which is what he's fighting in this fight. He won, but they didn't give him the contract. He came back, I want to say it was like a couple weeks later, and he fought at 205 and finished the guy pretty fast. He was a big favorite and just got the contract there. Godsey's undefeated. He's a stud, the Russian guy. I like Eileen Godsey. Like, I've only really seen their Contender Series fights, so I would lean Godsey. I just think he's more I think the wrestling's gonna be a big advantage for him. But
can you scroll in on his beard?
He's got the Russian.
Does he got the beard?
Yep.
Yeah, I would probably bet on him. He does have the mustache though.
Yeah,
he connects it.
Godsy's an inch. I like the name too. Godsey. Omar
Godsiev.
Omar Godsiev. I think you would pronounce that.
Yeah. It's almost like Askarov, like the first name and the last name are similar.
Godsey's a great name.
Yeah.
Godsey. Yeah, it sounds Italian, but obviously not. The next fight we were talking about before, we both like Baeza.
Fiallo was a dog, though. Who did he fight in his last fight that he was a big dog and he looked good?
Click on his name.
Because I remember I bet on him in his last fight as a dog, and he held his own. He ended up losing a decision, I believe. But I remember he looked really good. He's a very tough guy.
14-4, good record.
Who was it? It was someone decent too.
Pereira.
That's who it was.
Pereira.
I remember he looked good. Like he really held his own. Like
I remember that.
It was a relatively close fight. Like he had some good moments. So this way, where I'm a big fan of Baeza, like just as a prospect. He's lost his last 2 in some like tough fights. Like he got knocked out by Chaos Williams, who I don't throw any shade on that. Chaos Williams is a monster. And he lost to Ponzinibbio in like a war. War.
Yeah. I remember that too.
So I'm a big fan of Baeza. Like I'm actually like I said, it's hard. My only thought is just that Fiallo is a dog. Like, I think he's good. I just think Baez is a little more explosive, a little more. Fiallo's tough.
Yeah,
tough guy, good chin.
Probably feels like a fight where they want Baeza to get the win. He's on the 2-fight streak.
I like Baeza. I'm even in favor of potentially putting him in the parlay if we want to with Luque. But I'll probably be betting Baeza.
I'm sneezing.
Yeah,
It's gone.
Yanan Wu. Could you just she's the next. Could you click on her profile? Was she?
Yeah, Mario Bueno Silva's a huge favorite.
Oh, she is. Okay, never mind. Then
She's minus like 4 something, like 450.
Oh yeah,
I believe.
I've
Skid here too.
So she's coming off two losses.
That's tough when you start a career like that and then start losing.
Is she a UFC?
So she's
PI
she's 1-3 in the UFC. Not great.
I lost to Gina Mazzani. He's never good.
No disrespect.
No
Gina
disrespect to her. Tim Elliott's
That was
wife.
like Tim
Right?
Elliott's wife. Yeah.
Yeah. The happy couple.
That's a fight I'll probably stay away from, unless we want to put Bueno Silva in as a parlay piece. But I don't.
Do we want to play it safe this week?
I
Because
think thing with Wu, I think someone like that, like she's fighting for a UFC life.
Yeah.
And I don't always love fading guys like that where they really, really need to win bad. The next fight, I think I like Sabatini in it.
Yeah, I like Sabatini.
Like Sabatini's I think he gets a submission here.
And Laramie, if I recall correctly, not very good.
I like Sabatini a
Why
lot.
does
He's
that
just too
name
big of a
sound so
favorite.
familiar?
TJ Laramie?
Yeah.
He's definitely, he's fought in the UFC
He's
a few
fought,
times,
yeah, a
for
few
sure.
times.
I like Sabatini a lot, actually.
Lazez is a, how do you say his name?
Manuel Lazez, I believe.
Lazez,
He's had some, he's the guy who, didn't he get knocked out by like a body shot by, what's his name? Warley Alves?
Your memory is surprising to me every week because I cannot remember these fights.
Can you click on that and just see if I'm right? Because I kind of think I am, and I want to like.
Oh, I bet you are.
I'm pretty sure he knocked him with like a body kick that just like crippled him. Yep.
Look at that. Body kicks to ground and pound.
Yeah, and then
You got like an encyclopedia brain for sports.
when I watch it thorough, I remember. I usually remember pretty well because I remember his fight with Abdul Razak Al Hassan too.
I feel like I remember that more. Was I at that fight?
Because Al Hassan, if I remember,
That's
I think
Fight Island.
I think that was before he lost a couple of his fights in a row.
July 15th. No, that's not Fight Island. That may be.
I might have been at the.
I don't mind taking a shot at Lizzie. So Angelusa, I'm pretty sure he fought Contender Series, and I want to say he might have lost. Because he just fought recently. I want to say on an ex-MMA card.
Oh, really?
That I watched. That was live on YouTube. I watched because he took this fight short notice. Whoever Lazez
This
was
card is
he was supposed to fight someone else and they pulled out. So
stretched thin.
I don't hate Lazez.
Oh, Chris Barnett's on this card.
Yeah,
Yeah, and he's so low on the card. I was saying that you would imagine after the knockout
my
he
brother
got.
in arms. It's my unit brother.
How
The
could they not
knockout
try to
MSG.
put him up at least in like the
He
prelim
did
main event or
didn't
something?
he do the
Flip,
back
front flip.
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
The walkout was amazing. He was dancing. He was going
He's
crazy.
a Harlem Shake and shit. I fucking love that guy. Devin Clark, William Knight's kind of a weird fight too.
That's a good fight though.
Knight
That's
just
one of the
has-
best fights on the card. I
Jack
think.
brought up when we were off air before, like he had the weird weight cut issues last time. He missed weight by a lot.
Yeah, but he was
And
all
they
late.
like moved up. It was like this is a heavyweight.
Oh, so-
Light heavyweight, I thought.
No,
It says
265.
So that's
So they're going
Oh wait,
up?
the Barnett fight.
That must
no
be wrong.
Devin Clark, William Knight.
That must be wrong.
That says
No,
light
I know.
heavyweight.
265.
No, look in the middle.
Oh, the middle says 265.
That's just what they like rank them as.
I see,
as
I see.
I think that's like
heavyweights.
the Tapology community.
Yeah.
The rankings on the side.
I don't because Clark has some good submissions. Like I don't. Knight's a big time power puncher.
But
That's-
Knight, like,
keep that fight far away
who
from the
fought
parlay.
Knight?
Max Grisham.
Yeah, Grisham played it perfectly. Like, you just kind of like, if you can kickbox him to death and stay at range and or stay away from his attacks, don't get into a firefight with him. Because he
hit, dude.
He will hit you hard, but there's a chance this is a 3-round snoozer. Devin Clark 30-27.
Yeah, I can
Yeah,
see
it
it.
could
Like,
be.
he just
I
like
remember
stands on the outside.
Knight had that crazy knockout. I want to say it was Fabio Sharon. He literally just threw like a left out, and the dude just face planted him.
He's out of. I'm kind of a William Knight fan. He's out of Connecticut. I think he fights out. I think he fights out of East Hartford. It's weird. There's the
CT.
William Knight. What's his name?
Glover.
Well, that's more Danbury. Who's the Parker Porter?
Yeah, Parker Porter.
He's
Porter.
from West Hartford. He fights out of West Hartford. No, I think William Knight actually fights out of West Hartford, Connecticut too, which is where I'm from. It's just so crazy to me that there's
You gotta
somehow
be cheering for him. Come on.
2 UFC fighters from West Hartford, Connecticut.
That is crazy. Is that something we want to stay away from? I assume.
I betting.
I don't
wise,
like him as a
I
fighter.
don't.
parlay,
Yeah, I would bet Devin Clark's minus 167. That
Yeah.
fight that makes sense. Probably
Keep that
line
away.
wise. If I were to bet it, it probably would be Clark. But
And one of William Knight's knockouts against the Water Buffalo. What's his name?
I said it, Fabio Sharon.
Yeah.
Yeah, he stinks. Fabio Sharon.
Like he just stuck a left out like this, and he just fit like power. But no, the power was vicious though. I
Yeah.
give him a lot.
The power is
He's got
vicious.
serious power. Because I remember even in the Grisham fight, Grisham was like dominating the fight, and I think he touched him like
did,
later in the
yeah,
fight
yeah.
where I think I bet Grisham, and I was like, yo, relax, like, get away from him. This guy's a monster.
So what do we like as far as the parlay this week? We lost last week for the first time ever, split decision. Asterisk because Dana
Because
White says
Dana
he blew
White-
it.
Yeah, Dana White says we should cash.
Yeah.
That's the only reason we're putting the asterisk, because of Dana White.
Dana should give out all of the bettors. He should like pay out those bets.
Yeah.
He
Yeah.
gives
nice
out
of
like
him.
bonuses. Why not?
Exactly. He gave what's his name his win money because he thought he put up
Gilbert.
a great fight.
Yeah,
Gilbert.
exactly.
Yeah.
Also, honestly, one that I think is worth a parlay piece. I don't see how Brandon Jenkins beats Stracker close.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
me
just
either.
I know it's not gonna. He's
Put
he's
close
minus,
on
like,
him.
He's minus like 550, but
Could you scroll down
just-
the first two fights?
I just don't see it.
Luque, close.
Oh, Kevin Kroom against Hailey.
He had a good knockout against
Yeah, who was
somebody.
it?
I can't remember who it was in the. He had a really good knock. He was a huge underdog, and he knocked him out in like the first round.
Kevin Kroom. Could you click on Kevin Kroom's name?
Who do you
Shout
know?
out.
I know it was a black guy.
Producer
I can
Tom.
visualize it in my brain. I can't remember who it was. It
Kevin
was somebody
Kroom.
decent, I think.
He's long, if I
Is he
remember.
21
correctly.
and 14?
Oh, he fought Brian Kelleher. That's who he fought.
Oh, and Caceres.
Anderson Hutchinson. That sounds
Oh,
like.
Roosevelt Roberts was the fight I was thinking of.
Oh, no contents.
He was something. I think.
Something
I
happened.
think he might have failed for weed after something stupid.
Oh,
Because I'm
weird.
pretty sure he clipped him like bad and then just put him in guillotine. He finished in 31 seconds, and he was plus like 400.
I remember that. Yeah.
He was a huge underdog. It was UFC debut. Took it last minute.
Wow.
And he kind of had that. You remember like that Justin James fight where he took it on short notice and he fought Frank Camacho and just knocked him out.
Yeah.
It was kind of like that. You just saw him like he was like, "This is my shot."
He's
UFC.
like,
Like,
yeah,
I'm going for like
here
a
we
huge
go.
underdog. I'm going for broke. And he went at him and just clipped him early and just put him in the guillotine. So he's kind of a dog. Like I don't hate him as like a. I'll admit I don't know much about Alatang. Kroom has just shown me that dog mentality. So maybe worth a sprinkle if you're looking for some action early on. I think he's plus like 150, 160. But also I think Barnett can't fight without me betting on him. I know he'll probably.
Yeah.
He's probably going to lose. Honestly, if I'm being totally straightforward, Boudet's probably not a bad parlay piece, but.
No,
I
we're
can't-
not betting against the Beastie
I
Boy.
refuse to bet against Biggie Boy. Beastie Boy. So what do we want? So
We want to go
parlay-wise,
Luque,
I think Luque.
Sabatini.
I think Sabatini. I think Luque, Sabatini. I think close. Maybe if we wanted to go like,
And like one more, maybe.
do we maybe want to go like, do we want to go Baeza and try to like just take a shot at him?
What's his odds again?
He's minus like 185. So Luque, Baeza, Sabatini, and close. I gotta get my other stuff out of this. Shit, I got like baseball bets in here and shit too.
We give the people the baseball parlay with the MMA parlay.
With the over and the.
What's your
Astros
new
game that's
baseball
going on
show?
Right now.
What's
Shout out Hot Ice.
Hot Ice,
Tuesdays
Spinnin'
and
Backfist.
Thursdays. So this would be 236 with the four of them plus
That's pretty
236. So maybe get close
With
to
a boost?
300.
Yeah.
So it said the official would be Tracker Close, Vicente Luque, Miguel Baeza, and Pat Sabatini.
I like that parlay.
I don't hate Panini. I say Panini,
Pani?
but Pani Cayenza.
So
I
if
don't
we
have.
threw her in there
But
too,
I think I like the parlay that we just laid out.
that would make it 324.
And we want to
with
get
Pani.
back on the horse this week too.
Yeah,
wanna
We
risk
don't need
too
to
much.
push it. We don't need
Yeah.
to push it. But if you're looking for like another parlay on the side, or you're looking for some more pieces, I like her. I but she's what minus 375, 380.
Yeah.
But
All right,
she's
those are pretty
fighting
good
a
odds,
fellow
yeah.
Swede, Lena Landsberg. But
Two Swedes, yeah.
Sweet on sweet crime.
Swede on Swede. Yeah.
All right, that's the parlay for this week. And now let's get into a little Bellator preview with both AJ Mckee, he'll be up first, and then we'll get into an interview with Aaron Pico. All right, welcome back to the show, ladies and gentlemen. Welcoming us now is AJ Mckee. Huge fight this weekend. Bellator, it's you versus Pitbull once again. How are you feeling just a few days out from the fight?
Oh man, another day in paradise. Like 7 over, so slowly but surely bringing the weight down. And yeah, man, ready to go in there, put on another show.
Have you been dealing with the weight cut the exact same way like your entire career? Do you have like the same method?
Nah, as I get older, I used to be able to get away with eating Snickers every day and stuff like that. But as I'm getting older, it's not working as easily. So yeah, my diet now is it's retarded. I'm eating 4 or 5 meals a day, real lean, chicken, greens, egg whites, oatmeal, blueberries, bananas. My diet's just real clean, 4 or 5 meals a day. That's why I know, dude, as soon as I step in that cage at 145 pounds, the fight's over once I make weight.
Yeah, that doesn't sound like a fun diet, to be honest.
Not at all. I'm clearly looking at me. No.
Are you excited for post-fight then? Do you get stoked for post-fight?
Oh yeah, dude. You guys want to see my junk drawer? I got probably 6 Snickers. I got a Butters fingers in there in case Snickers don't come through. You know what I mean? Things
Nice.
get buttery sometimes. What else? Got a couple Rice Krispie treats. Marshawn Lynch with the Skittles. Gotta leave the sour, of course. What else is in there? I got the gummy bears. I didn't put no Kool-Aid on them this time. That's like old high school remedy trick. What else is in there? That's about it for my junk food. Some Oreo mint thins.
Oh, the mint thins are the best. Yeah.
Dude, you gotta put them in the freezer. You ever put them in the
Yeah.
freezer?
Oh, yeah.
That's the
What
move.
is the taste? Why does it do that?
I don't
It's so
know.
weird.
It is the move. With anything minty, I feel like Thin Mints from
Yeah,
Girl
Thin
Scout
Mints are the
cookies,
best.
boom, right in the freezer.
Even I'm a big peanut butter guy in the fridge too, like Reese's, all that. Toss in the fridge.
Uh-huh.
What's the is the mentality going in the rematch? Is it any different this time? Like obviously coming up, like you got him out of there quick. Like it was kind of I guess I'll let you call it if it was an easy fight or not, but obviously short fight. Is the mentality different at all going into it a different time? Like now that you've already seen him, you've been in the cage with him?
I wouldn't say the mentality's different, really. His mentality's changed a bit. So just watching his body language, peeping out a little key points. No, man, game plan's still the same, you know. At the end of the day, he has to come to me. He has to close the distance. We saw that with Chandler and him. I think it's going to look like that, but obviously going the other way around.
So you think this one's going to be even faster?
I mean, I would hope so, but I don't think so. This is going to be a fight, you know. I can tell the press conference and everything prior to the first time, he was just very angry, just aggro. This time he's a bit more calm and composed, and that's why I'm giving him a spare round. How he wants it, man. It's how he wants it. I think he's going to come out first round, test the waters a bit, and then second round, you know, obviously first round he's going to throw a little bit more, try to get these exchanges going, and in due time after the first round, I think second round, that's when the openings are going to open up, and I just got to be ready to capitalize off those opportunities and exploit his weaknesses and flaws.
You mentioned the animosity from his end. He was very angry last time. This time he's trying to stay more calm. From your end, has it kind of remained the same throughout both fights, or has it changed for you?
It's the same fight. I would say just approaching it differently. As a champion now, you know. First time I gave him a lot of respect, gave him a lot of praise and his accolades and so forth, what he's done. But Pitbull show is over. The Mckee show is here, so it's it's time. You know, this is just the beginning and the beginning of the beginning.
The first fight, do you think he didn't give you enough respect?
I don't think it's that he didn't give me enough respect. I think it was the fact that I was giving him respect. I think on top of the language barrier, his coach, I think things were being misinterpreted. Yeah, I think a lot of things were being misinterpreted. So they were just firing him up, but he's a fiery person, where this time he's a bit more calm, collect, and composed, but it's not going to make a difference, really, you know, because he like I said before, he's got to cover that distance, and that's what I'm looking forward to, just exploiting his openings.
What'd you think of his brother kind of jabbing back and forth with you at the press conference?
Man, he knows what's up. Patricky knows what's up. That ain't no true champ. I grew up on champ shit. In order to be a champion, you have to beat a champion. That man has not beat a champion. Therefore, he is not a champion. Floyd, if I'm not mistaken, just quoted something like that as well. He said something about there's too many belts being vacant and people becoming champs without beating a champ. That's factual stuff. That's GOAT mentality. That's, you know what I mean? When you know you're that guy, like, you got to beat another that guy to become that guy, or that guy has to beat you in order to become that guy. And Patricio Pitbull is that guy. And that's why I see this fight at 145 pounds, regardless the weight class. This is for the 155-pound title, in my eyes. In my eyes. That's why through the tournament I received the belt, and I also received the belt for the 145-pound division. But this fight, why would he want to see me at 155 pounds, faster, stronger, bigger? And then his brother would have to climb the ranks and then magically figure out some madness to my mayhem and try to beat me? Yeah. No. Do it the smart way. This is a game of chess. Release the 55-pound title. Allow your brother to fight for the title. He becomes champ. You get your rematch at 145, obviously. I'll honor him with that, respectfully. But yeah, for me, man, this is a game of chess. You took a pawn, and you thought it was the king.
So if this fight goes like how you're expecting it to, how you want it to, you think Patricky is the next fight? Or you're not even thinking about that right now?
We got to sit down contractually, see what the deal is. Obviously, I'm in championship clause right now. I'd like to sit down, get some numbers figured out, played out. If we can't come up to an understanding, then yeah, I'm 2 more fights away. But I would love to be with Bellator. You know, there's things I'd like to do. Snickers deal, undefeated. You got Ruka. You got all kind of deals that are on the table. People that I've had near me and in my circle. So it's really just kind of reaching out and putting a little bit of water to the seed and allowing it to grow, you know? So yeah.
You've been pretty vocal about your thoughts on Alexander Volkanovski's performance this week as well, and you've said a few times that you weren't particularly impressed with it. I saw in the lead up to the first Pitbull fight, you were saying that you're kind of just taking jabs at a brother, like trying to egg him on a little bit. Are you trying to do the same thing with Volkanovski, or you really just weren't impressed with that?
It's an accumulation of both. I mean, don't get me wrong, I was impressed with the performance, but it's like, when you're comparing that performance to stand that man in front of me, that's where I'm not impressed with it. It would be the same thing with Adam Borix and his last opponent, Burnell's. Was it Burnell's? I forgot his name. But, like, you see what I mean? It's just not appetizing to me. I feel I'm light years ahead to the point where it's like, if it's not appetizing, but obviously – him being a UFC champ and him having the fame and this and that and being built up as the best fighter in the world because of the way the organization has promoted him and so forth, I'll expose that dude. And the fact that he responded to Patricio when Patricio was champ, but he won't respond to me, first sign of fear, player. I watch all angles and I watch everything. All of a sudden, a big boy steps in the room, you don't want to talk to him. What's up? I'm trying to play. Trying to play, you know what I mean?
So is that, obviously you're under contract with Bellator right now, like, do you think eventually at some point, like, the UFC is where you want to be to fight like guys like that, like at some point?
I will own a UFC title within my career, definitely. That, I mean, since I was a kid, that was always a dream, you know? Obviously signing to Bellator straight out of my amateur career was an honor. It's still been an honor. You know, I'm a world champion for the organization, and I feel I'm the face of the organization. I made my first $1 million with the organization. I'm a champ. I've put up tremendous countless hours into becoming where I'm at in this present moment. And it's to the point where I feel I'm so light years ahead of people. You know what I mean? Man, there's a lot of dream fights here. Shit, Benson Henderson. You got Usman Nurmagomedov. You got there's some nice fights at 155. You know what I mean? So I mean, I would love to be faster, stronger, and bigger and move up the 155-pound division, become champ, maybe defend the 45 one last time. And I don't know. We got to sit down, you know. At the end of the day, I got to go put the icing on the cake. Everything is still on the table. So until my silverware's set on the table, I can't eat my cake.
It's a fascinating time in your career, like all of these options, all of these thoughts, like almost not uncertainty, but like we don't know what the future holds. It's interesting.
No one does. And I don't, you know. This fight is a big fight, you know, because if say I can't even put that into fucking words. I'm sorry, I don't even feel comfortable. I'm an undefeated GOAT, bro. Like, I'm not taking help, bro. I can't even. We're just gonna delete that yeah. But like, I'm sure a lot of people would like me to lose. You know, it would be great, I guess, for other people, but for myself, it's not an option, dude. So like I said, putting the icing on the cake and making it sweet one last time is what I got to do. And yeah, after that, you know, I feel that's what I told everybody. It was just the beginning when I won the world title. And now we're taking one more step into the business world, and we're taking it really this good. Okay, well, now I'm going to go show you one more time, and we'll see. Well, you guys will see. I've already seen.
Yeah, we'll see.
For sure. I'm excited to see. 'Cause I think there's a lot, like, obviously, there's been some guys that have come over from Bellator, have had success, have not had success. I feel like you're one guy that I feel like I'll say the general public of MMA fans believe, like, belongs in that, like, with those top guys in the UFC. I believe that for sure. Like, we had Volkanovski in here the other day in person. Like, I would love to see you two fight. I mean, that's a dream fight for fans, I think.
The dream fight's Holloway and I, man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That would be fucking awesome, too.
Stylistically, and this is where I think people don't realize, styles make fights.
Mm-hmm.
Pitbull is a fucking monster. Stylistically, I am a bad fight for him. Volkanovski, stylistically, I am a bad fight for him. Holloway, on the other hand, that's a different story. Benson Henderson, on the other hand, it's a different story. Stylistically, these are great fights. These are entertaining fights. So it's just, man, styles make fights. It's just like wrestling, you know what I mean? Back in the day, there's both the NCAA champs from Arizona. Zaid Valencia, Anthony Valencia, Aaron Pico, and we all wrestled together as kids. Pico would beat the dog breaks off of both of them, and I couldn't beat either one of them, but then I'd beat Pico.
Yeah. MMA math, they say it never works.
Styles make fights.
Yeah.
Like, it's weird, you know what I mean? And I mean, it's just crazy. But that's generations and years of being in the sport and knowing what styles and who's what and where's what, you know what I mean? And that's why I just, you know, my poke at him is this ain't rugby. Been doing this shit since I was 3-4 years old. Like, nothing against you, bro. You're a world champ. Like, praise to you. Hats off. Like, you're doing your thing, my boy. Keep doing it. But when it comes time to stepping in front of me, just know you're going to have a force to be reckoned with.
I hope we see that fight one day. I really do.
Literally, since like Volkanovski talking about all these fights, it's like you talking about all these like different kinds of fights. It's just a great time to be just an MMA fan. And there's just like so much young talent going on right now.
And featherweights in general too.
Yeah, for
like
sure.
Featherweights, lightweights, both of those divisions are just monsters. Like absolute deep waters you got to go into to get to the rankings of either.
Yeah, I'm slowly but surely climbing the ranks. But at the end of the day, nobody's stats look better than mine. 18 fights, 13 finishes, 11 in the first round. 11 in the first round.
Maybe 12 after this weekend, maybe?
He said he was in the second round.
Said second, but...
No, this one will be in the second. This one, yeah.
All right, fair enough. We'll have to sprinkle on that.
Yeah, you know, a little salt Bombay.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. Hypothetically, if, in a world where I'm a betting man, you already said second round, hypothetically, if I were to bet, say, knockout or submission, what would you advise to this hypothetical gambling man?
I'm going to go knockout.
All right.
Fair
Second
enough.
round knockout.
I like that. Also, I want to ask you this too. What was any big purchase with the big check from the Grand Prix?
Man. I bought a caddy daddy.
Hell yeah.
I'm now part of the V gang, the one, not the two. You know what I mean? Caddy daddy all the way. I got the championship edition. There's only one of 100, or I got one of. There were 100. I guess people have been crashing their shit.
Oh,
Down to
man.
like 97. There's 97 white and I think 100 black. Championship edition. They got all the specs in it. The Recaro seats, the red carbon stitching, red stitching in the seats, red everything, red in the carbon interior, full sunroof. You got the sun visors in the back. The car is monstrous, dude.
This thing sounds like the
I'm in love with
Batmobile.
that
Yeah.
Caddy is the way, dog. Caddy is the way. GM's it. I've been contemplating. I was like, my next vehicle, I was like, I need something to pull my toys with. I got a 700 horsepower all-wheel drive CRX. And I'm like, I need something to trailer this thing with. I was like, TRX? It's like, GM. I'm going AT4, baby.
That's
So
awesome.
I think I'm going to get an AT4 and fucking just keep it GM, man. Yeah. It's going to be a little bit more expensive to race that thing out, throw it on Kings, and eventually rally it one day. But cream of the crop, man. You know, if you're gonna do it, why not do it full sin status?
No,
Absolutely.
Yeah, congrats. That's awesome.
Yeah, thank you for joining us. We really appreciate the time on Fight Week. Good luck this weekend. Best of skill, I guess, not luck, because some MMA fighters say, I don't need any luck in this fight. So, best of skill.
Thank you. I appreciate it. Peace and blessings, my guys. Appreciate your time as well.
Appreciate it, man.
What's going on? How are you?
I'm good, man. Everything is going well. Just the fight week protocol, but I feel good.
Do you enjoy a fight week? Do you enjoy a hectic fight week?
Yeah, I enjoy it. I just try to keep it as calm as possible, but I have kind of like my ritual things that I do, and just kind of stick to my schedule, and it usually goes by pretty fast. The main thing is that my weight is good. If somebody's weight isn't under control, then fight week is stressful, but thank God mine's good. So
we were just talking to AJ Mckee about his weight and his weight cut and if it's changed over his career. Has yours changed, like especially going from wrestling to MMA?
Yeah, it's actually gotten easier, thank God. When I was wrestling, I think I was doing a little bit wrong. But then I started to work with the strength and conditioning coach, Sam Calavita, out of Orange County. I've worked with him 13 fights now, so he's the best nutritionist and strength and conditioning coach in the world, I believe. So my weight cuts are so easy, but it takes a lot of work. It takes so much discipline as far as the calories counted and, you know, water intake, supplementation. It's a crazy full-time, well, it is a full-time job. It's what I do for a living. So it's not a problem.
So coming in this fight, obviously the last few also, you've been like a huge favorite. Does that throw you off at all? Your mental? Do you even look at that kind of stuff? Like, do you look at the lines? Like, does that I think for this one, your mind is 900. Like, does that play into any at all? Like the mental? I know obviously, listen, it's still a fight. There's still a human being in front of you that you got to beat. But does that like play into the mental at all? The psyche?
Yeah, honestly, I don't really pay too much attention to it because I'll be honest with you, like sometimes it does creep in my head, like, damn, I need to win this fight. Like I'm so heavily favored, and then it just erase it from my mind like seconds later. But believe it or not, like all my fights, even the fights that I've lost, like I've been a heavy favorite. It's just how it's been. I don't pay too much attention to it. I just got to go in there and look to take guys' heads off, you know, just do what I was been training to do. So it's not a problem.
When we were disconnected, we were asking you about kind of being like a folklore within the Joe Rogan podcast. Was that something that was kind of a bless and a curse because of Joe Rogan's kind of not obsession with you, but pushing you as a great MMA fighter, which you are, and also Brendan Schaub, who I know is a massive fan of yours?
Yeah. No, I'm like I said, I love Joe Rogan, and coming into the game, I had a lot of hype behind me, a lot of expectation, and to be honest with you, I just I wouldn't say I blew it. I just didn't really have the experience that I needed to be to where I'm at now. I needed to learn a few things, but no, I think they're all right. I just need time to show, and I think as my fights have gone on, I'm showing that I'm getting better. So it's all good. It's all love. Like I said, I had some bumpy roads to get to where I'm at, but hey, that's life.
I think both of them even said on their podcasts that, hey, I mean, this is the fighting game. Like, it's going to take there's some bumps along the road that doesn't, because a lot of times people just expect fighters to be undefeated their entire career. And then when you get into the game, you realize that there's some bumps along the road. Doesn't mean that someone's just like, I mean, look at Oliveira. And so that's awesome to hear.
What do you think the biggest key to you getting better was, actually, like you improving as a fighter?
I think the biggest thing improving was just I'm from Southern California. I love being in LA, and so my parents are there, but I had to go somewhere else where I can just be in one location and really learn how to fight. I was going all over the place, going here, going there, but when I made the transition into Albuquerque, Jackson Wink MMA, I really got to be around great coaches that just solely focus on MMA. You know, before it was just I'd go here, boxing, jiu-jitsu, but I really needed to put it all together. So when I made the transition, I really started to come into my own as a fighter. So I just needed to be less distractions and just focus on MMA for sure.
Obviously, you have the great wrestling background. Are you like, now that obviously you've been training for a bunch of years, are you starting to really enjoy like the striking and like the different aspects of it, or would you say you still like wrestling, still like the first love, your favorite aspect?
To be honest with you, my favorite, like I love wrestling, but I really wanted to go in the boxing game. I had like close to 30 amateur fights, and life took me in a different direction when I was a kid. But I'm really happy that it did, because all the relationships that I made over the time in wrestling and MMA have been great. But I love wrestling, but at the end of the day, I really wanted to be a professional boxer. That was like my favorite thing, you know. But it's all good. I'm really happy where I'm at now, and in life, everything happens for a reason. I wouldn't change it.
Were you excited to show your hands in the cage because of that? Like, everyone viewed you as a wrestler coming in. You were like, I'm going to start knocking people out.
Yeah, no, I did. I really did enjoy it, but then it also got me in trouble a few times. I fell in love with it too much, and but no, I love knocking people out. It's like one of my favorite things to do. It's a very good feeling. I'm not going to sugarcoat it. Knocking out another man is probably the best drug you could possibly take. I love it, you know. No, it's fun, man. I'm really enjoying MMA, and it's the toughest thing that I've ever done in my life, and it's what wakes me up and gets me out of bed every day. So I have a ton of work to do, but like I said, what else would I be doing? This is all I know.
You think there's a chance we ever see you box?
I really do want to box. For example, like I trained a lot with Freddie Roach, and I was in Miguel Cotto's training camp. To be honest with you, Freddie, one time before my professional debut, asked me to go and be Manny Pacquiao's training partner in the Philippines when he was fighting Jeff Horn. But I said I couldn't make it because I obviously had my pro debut. Now looking back, I should have just said, "Oh, screw it, screw this MMA fight. Go be his sparring partner." But it's all good. But back to your question, I really want to fight. I was just telling somebody this the other day that if I can get on like a Jake Paul undercard, like I know he fights on Showtime and Bellator's on Showtime. If I can just get on the undercard and get my feet wet in boxing, I would love it. So. Jake Paul, when you have your next fight, think of me on the undercard, please. I want to box.
Yeah, I don't know why Jake Paul wouldn't want.
Yeah, that's a much more understandable ask. Most people are like, Jake Paul, I want you, motherfucker. You're like, no, just give me a fight on the card. Yeah.
You think?
No, I would love it, man. I would love to just get my feet wet and get the, because I absolutely love boxing. So just get in a ring, put on boxing gloves, and feel that adrenaline on a big, you know, his fights are huge. Whenever he fights, man, we always have a barbecue, so it's cool. But it would be cool to actually go fight on the undercard. So if it lines up, I would love to do it.
You think Scott Coker would let you under the Bellator contract?
I think so. I really do. I've had that conversation with Scott before. He said if there was the opportunity for me to go and get a boxing fight.
Okay, that's awesome.
All right.
Yeah, that's really
awesome.
cool. That's definitely like a plus about working with Bellator and working with Scott Coker, whereas I don't think most MMA companies would allow something like that.
Yeah, absolutely. I think Scott would, if I went to Scott and said, man, he knows how much how much I'm passionate about boxing. So I think he wouldn't hold me back. And if it made sense, and I think it would help Bellator too, because it wouldn't be like I'm just a one-off. I actually can box. I can really, I've gone to boxing gyms and sparred some of the best boxers in the world, and I can hold my own. So I definitely wouldn't embarrass myself. So I think Scott would be for it.
Who are some of your favorite boxers right now?
Yeah, my favorite boxer right now is Canelo. I really like his style. I love even outside the gym, he loves horses. I'm a big I love horses. I have 2 of my own.
You got 2 horses? What are their names?
It's funny. My horse is named Canelo and Leon, but I didn't name him Canelo. It's kind of a funny story. So like, a lot of people don't know I lost my pro debut, and it was horrible because I was highly, like, the anticipation was crazy. I had so much pressure on me. Everybody was talking about the most anticipated debut of all time, pretty much. But anyways, I lost, and man, horses for me are like is a big reason why I fight. I fight for my family and horses. I love. It's just what I want to do. I want to make some good amount of money in MMA, buy a ranch, and ride horses for the rest of my life.
That's beautiful.
Yeah. So anyways, I lost my pro debut, and I was like, man, I need to go and be around horses. They just calm me down. So I called a friend of mine, and I went to the barn, and I remember walking in, I looked to my right, and there was this horse here, and I just was like, I told my girlfriend, I said, I'm going to buy this horse. She's like, you don't even know if he's for sale. So then as soon as my friend walked in, I'm like, oh, I really like this horse. She's like, oh, really? The owner just said he's for sale. I was like, well, what's his name? He's like, Canelo. I was like, I'll buy him. And he's like my best friend. He's taught me everything I know with horsemanship, you know, and yeah, he's the best. So yeah, Canelo's my favorite boxer. Shit, I have my horse's name I bought a horse because his name was Canelo. You know? I don't know if that was the smartest thing, but he's, like I said, he's my teacher. He's taught me everything.
That's awesome. That's like how I feel about dogs.
I would say smart guy. That's what a like healthy, like mature way to deal with stress.
Oh my God, yeah.
Just go hang out with some horses. Like there's
so
many.
Probably meditative, yeah.
Yeah. I have 4 dogs, 2 crazy dogs, blue heelers. They're nuts. But, so yeah, I love horses, dogs, and but yeah, that's what I want to do in my life. I really want to just be, you know, be a multiple time world champion, make some good money, and I want to just ride off into the sunset and
literally on a horse.
Yeah, literally right off the sunset.
Yeah, literally. Yeah.
So do you like the horses? Are they in a stable right now, or you actually have them like at like where you live?
Yeah, I have them in my backyard in Albuquerque.
Wow.
So I have a little arena, and then 2, you know, big stalls, and I can ride out my front gate and go out on trails, and man, yeah, it's the best life in the world.
The next time we do an interview, we should be on like 4 horses.
Oh my God,
walking along like a road.
No, it's so crazy. I was just thinking about this the other day. Like, man, I don't know much about like the podcast, but they're, you know, blowing up. But I think it would be really, really cool one day. I don't know how I would be able to do it, but me interview somebody and just ride some horses and go out on trail ride.
Oh, you could do it.
Oh yeah.
So
put a couple little lav mics on your collars. You could do that easy.
Comedians getting coffee in cars or whatever.
Yeah, it's like that.
But it's
like
fighters
on horses.
Fighters on horses talking fights or whatever that the topic that comes
And there's
up.
got to be a ton of fighters that are also into stuff like that. We obviously know Donald Cerrone and all. There's all of these fighters that are into kind of ranch style living. It'd be pretty sweet.
That would be cool. It'd be cool. Anytime you guys are in Albuquerque, I swear, just let me know. We'll ride some horses, do a barbecue, hang out.
That sounds awesome.
I would say this might sound crazy. I've actually ridden horses quite a bit in my life.
Really?
Yes. Look at me. You'd never imagine. I was a bad kid. I got sent away to this reform type thing, and part of the thing was horses, and it was crazy because when I got there, I was petrified of animals, specifically horses. So I had to literally do like horse therapy just to be like comfortable enough to get on one.
Was it calming when you eventually?
Yeah, so it was funny. There was a horse there that was similar to me. She was very big, very nervous. Her name was Stella, and we kind of bonded. We both were like big,
nice.
heavy set. We both were kind of scared, and we bonded over it. It was
That
nice.
sounds like a children's book, like Ev and Stella.
That's literally it was so funny. I just thought of this. Would you, if Coker allowed it, or
Hey guys, I don't mean to cut you off, because I'm having so much fun doing this interview, but the mic is starting to act up again.
All right.
Can you hear us at all or no?
No, I can't hear you at all.
Damn.
I was gonna ask him if he would ever ride into a fight on a horse.
Oh,
that was a great question too.
Yeah, it keeps acting
All
up,
right.
but I just want to say, man, I really, really appreciate everything and this interview. I had a fun time. Hopefully we can do it again.
For sure.
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
Appreciate it, guys.
Appreciate
Thank
it.
you.
Yeah, thank you. Good luck this weekend.